Every word Mikel Arteta said about Odegaard's injury, the Forest victory, Maduke's display, and Gioca's goal. Mikel Arteta addressed the press after Arsenal's comfortable triumph over Nottingham Forest, a match where his team impressed from start to finish, scoring 3 well-crafted goals and imposing their dominance in Ange Postecoglou's return to the Premier League. 2 goals from Martin Zubimendi and a precise finish by Victor Gioca's sealed the result. But the win came with a concern. Martin Odegaard was forced off early with an injury. It marked the second home game in a row where he couldn't even make it to half-time. Still, Arsenal responded admirably. This victory comes at the start of a tough week for the Gunners, a trip to Bilbao followed by a blockbuster clash with Manchester City. After a long international break, Arteta was pleased to begin this challenging period in perfect fashion. On Zubimendi's goal, is that something you've been working on in training? Not at all, Arteta admitted. That finish, the timing, how he shaped his connection with the ball, the way the curve dropped into the net, remarkable. He earned every bit of credit today. But more than the goals, it was his presence out there, the calmness, the authority, the way he linked up with the other players. If he continues attacking like that, showing that composure, then we're talking about another dimension in his game. What did you make of E's debut for the club? Really impressed, Arteta said. We had 5 new starters today, and I could already sense relationships starting to form, connections that will bring us different threats. To be unpredictable, you need players willing to take risks, to disrupt, and Noni was exceptional at that. We played with an attack trio that had never run out there together before, and they showed exactly what we hoped: good timing, knowing when to press, when to run. They got minutes, important minutes, and they looked happy. Overall, it was very satisfying. Considering the players out today and losing Martin so early, does today's performance show the depth you built through the summer? Is the squad really thriving? Yes, Arteta nodded. If we hadn't done the work we did off the pitch, bringing in quality, building depth, we'd be in a very different position. Injuries are part of football, some you can't predict or avoid. We knew the standard in this league and in Europe demands options, flexibility. I'm proud because today, even without a few key players, we could change the game when needed. Now our job is to make sure everyone feels connected and valued. Is Odegaard's injury a shoulder issue again? Very similar, Arteta confirmed. I'm not certain it's the exact same spot, but the discomfort is comparable. He's already played 2 matches for Norway recently, and unfortunately, today he couldn't cleanly continue. We'll assess with the medical team, but I expect he'll do everything possible to be fit by Tuesday. Given the familiarity with this injury, and since he was fine earlier, do you think surgery could be needed, like what happened with Kai? No, I don't believe so, Arteta responded. I'm no medical specialist, but the doctors don't seem overly worried. Last time, he managed to control the pain in just a few days, largely because the injury wasn't too severe. I can't guarantee anything, but I hope it's not going to be serious. It's rare to see Declan Rice start from the bench. Was this rest necessary? Will you need to do more of this in coming matches? Yes. Mikel Merino has been in high emotional form, 4 goals in 2 games, and I wanted to ride that wave. When a player is in that state, you want to use it. Declan came on and made an immediate impact. He'll play the next one. That's how we need to manage things, carefully but fairly. How did you see Ethan do in Martin's absence? You've had him in that position during pre-season often. How has he developed? Very well, Arteta answered. Ethan has different qualities, but what stood out was how comfortable he looked carrying the ball, especially in the first half. He's always close to the ball, always thinking about the goal, always active. That hunger, that mindset, is so important. And even in the Leeds game, after Martin went off, he came on and really stepped up. How is Saliba doing? Did he miss training yesterday? He trained fully yesterday, said Arteta, and seemed okay. Afterwards, he said he might need a couple more days. The recovery has been very fast given the nature of the injury, so when the player says he needs more time, you trust that. Mosquera, who took his place, was excellent, really solid. Does Mosquera's form now put pressure on Saliba and Gabriel for starting spots? Absolutely, Arteta said. You saw what he did today, and also at Anfield. He's got drive, he's willing to learn, and he already shows qualities that complement our defensive group. He'll push them, and that's healthy. Everyone needs competition. With so many defenders pushing for starts, how do you balance it? especially since they all want regular game time. You need at least 2 good players for every position, he replied. That's football. When you see the quality these guys have, you want them available, fit, and ready. Against different opponents, different qualities are needed. It's about managing minutes, fitness, form, and matching what the game demands. You talked about Mourinho's high emotional state, and the new signings seem to be thriving. What's the impact of all this so early in the season? It's hugely positive, Arteta reflected. The connection with the fans, the energy, the sense of belief that the new faces already have, those are the ingredients of something special. When we bring players in, we want more than just talent. We want personalities who can embrace the club, who feel at home, who want to fight for every moment. Already, it's giving us confidence, ambition. Does the squad depth reflect the demands of what modern football is now, especially with the Champions League in view? Yes, he affirmed. We're looking at potentially 70 or more matches in a season. That's a burden no club can carry without depth. Players must rotate. You need quality in each role. Physical demands are high. Standards are higher. It's the only way to compete in multiple fronts. You spoke before Liverpool about perception and mindset. After such different results, the loss at Liverpool, and then today's win, do you sense a shift in how this team sees itself? No difference in how we approached either game, Arteta insisted. Our aim is always the same, to go into every match to win. What changes is the learning. We analyze, we improve. And now, thinking ahead to Bilbao, that's where we fire again. You mentioned Noni earlier. What is he bringing that feels new? Courage. That's what I'd call it, Arteta said. He gets the ball and goes at people. It takes guts, and he's got it. Beyond that, there's craft, intelligence, a willingness to try things. He's got this sparkle. Even when mistakes happen, he smiles and tries again. Creative players need that. 8 home goals in 2 matches. Only 1 conceded in 4 games so far. Do you believe Arsenal have reached a new level this season? What message do you think the club is sending out in the title race? That is the goal, Arteta admitted. But we stay focused, game by game. It's not about talking, it's about doing. We work today, we improve tomorrow. Yes, there are areas to get better in, more goals, more control when needed. But the mindset is there. Bilbao is next. It will be special. The stadium, the fans, that atmosphere is something you look forward to. We're ready. Every word Mikel Arteta said about Degard's injury, the win over Forest, Maduke's display, and Jayoka's goal, extended and with more context. Mikel Arteta spoke to the press after Arsenal's dominant 3-0 win over Nottingham Forest, a performance marked by composure, tactical control, and a glimpse into the evolving depth of his squad. Goals from Martin Zubimendi, twice, and Victor Jayoka's sealed the result, but it wasn't all good news for the Gunners. Degard's injury casts a shadow. Midfielder Martin Degard was forced off before half-time, the second consecutive home match where he's had to leave the field early due to what appears to be a recurring shoulder problem. Arteta didn't hide his concern, though he remained cautiously optimistic. It looks similar to the last one, he said. Not sure if it's the exact same spot, but the feeling was quite alike. He wasn't comfortable continuing, and given the matches he played for Norway, we didn't want to take any risks. Arteta ruled out the need for surgery at this point but emphasized that the medical team would need to assess him properly before the trip to Bilbao. Squad depth begins to show. Despite losing Degard, Arsenal didn't lose control. In fact, they grew into the game. Asked if this was proof the squad he built over the summer was already thriving, Arteta nodded. This is why we worked so hard during the window. We knew we needed alternatives, real, top-level alternatives. When you look at the injuries we've had, this win proves that the work paid off. Zubimendi, a relatively new face in the starting lineup, impressed not just with his goals, but with his authority and intelligence on the pitch. Asked whether the goal was something rehearsed in training, Arteta smiled and replied, "No credit to me for that. It was just pure instinct and class. The way he connects with the ball, the timing, the precision, that's just him. He brings a different kind of calm and presence. If he adds goals to his game, we're looking at a player on another level." New partnerships, new energy. Eberechi made his debut and slotted in confidently. Noni Maduke also stood out, with Arteta praising his fearlessness and creativity. We played with a front three that had never started together before. Still, you could sense the chemistry building. That unpredictability is what we're aiming for, said Arteta. Noni was outstanding. He brings courage and joy. He plays with a smile and never stops trying. The manager also highlighted the performances of Mosquera and Ethan, who stepped in during a moment of need and delivered mature, tactically sound shifts. Ethan's development has been impressive. When he picks up the ball, he always looks forward. He's thinking about goal, about impact. That kind of mentality is invaluable. Managing players wisely. One of the surprises was Declan Rice starting on the bench, but Arteta explained the reasoning. Declan needed that rest. He's played so much football. At the same time, Merino came in flying, 4 goals in 2 games for his country. When a player is in that kind of form, emotionally charged and confident, you want to ride that wave. Declan came in and had a great impact off the bench. Saliba's situation and internal competition. William Saliba was also absent, though he completed a full training session the day before. According to Arteta, the player himself requested more time, sensing his body wasn't fully recovered. We listened to him. We don't force it. And Mosquera, again, stepped in and was excellent. He's pushing the others now, and that's what we want. 2 players per position. High standards. Everyone fighting, but all working together. Building something bigger. Asked whether Arsenal had reached a new level this season, Arteta was careful not to get ahead of himself. We're getting there. But it has to be one game at a time. We've started strong at home, scored 8 in 2 matches and only conceded once in 4. But there are still details to improve. We can be more ruthless in some phases, control certain moments better. He smiled when talking about the upcoming trip to Bilbao. It's one of my favorite places. I hope you all come. The atmosphere is incredible, and it'll be a huge test. But we're ready. On new signings settling quickly. Arteta closed with thoughts on the summer signings and how well they've blended into the team. They've adapted even faster than I hoped. That's down to the environment, the dressing room, the staff, and the support around them. But also their mentality. They've bought in. You can already see the value they're adding, not just in performances but in the energy they bring.